Okay, hi Patty. You can take this for what it's worth. I looked at this at your plan again pretty thoroughly. Not in depth, I would say, but it was pretty thoroughly. And part of the problem was I didn't really notice it. Is these walls that you've got in here. This wall here. Let's select it. Look at this dialog box. It's a regular wall, and that's kind of a mistake, but it's an easy one to make. And so what I'm going to do, and this is a little bit of advanced, so you shouldn't feel bad about missing it, but I'm just offering this to you as part of a real solution. I'm going to go up to 3D preferences, 3D settings, excuse me. I'm going to turn off auto rebuild walls, floors, and ceilings, just temporarily. Normally you leave that on. It's under 3D settings. I don't remember if Pro has under preferences. See, it'd be under architectural, I think. Well, I don't see it. Maybe it's under general. I'm looking for where you can turn off the automatic building of attic walls, and that may be a Chief Premier thing only. I'm going to take a moment just to take a look. I just thought of this. Okay, I'm not going to look anymore. But basically what I want to do is get rid of I'm going to delete these dormers. And the reason they're not working is because they're not properly employed. And it's not a crime. Part of learning this software is learning how it works and how it doesn't work. I'm going to move this little wall here to the corner, just for symmetry's sake, and get rid of some of these invisible walls that were inadvertently created. This wall here, I'm going to delete it. Get rid of that and that. And I turned off automatically rebuild walls, floors, and ceilings so that the attic walls wouldn't automatically come back. Now this wall, I'm not going to delete it because we need it at least up to that point. Now let the software put in the attic walls automatically. That's the reason I'm pulling this back as well. There's some more invisible automatically generated walls I'm going to get rid of because they're in the way of what we're trying to do, what I'm trying to do. I hope you'll appreciate this. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. That's fine. Okay. Now I'm going to turn on the reference display and go down and back up. So now I can see the first floor walls. And it looks like you want your dormers slightly past the first floor walls. So now I'm going to go over to the Build menu, Roof, Auto Dormer. And then I'm going to just go with your established defaults. I'm going to click a little bit past the baseline of the roof there. That's this little green thing here. That's the baseline. And you'll see a dormer just falls right in there. When things are set up properly, the tools just work. I'm going to use the arrow. Well, okay, you can't use arrow keys, and just move that up. And okay, so I'm going to go back over here to the Build menu, Roof, Auto Dormer. I'll line my cursor up with the center line of the other one, and just a little bit past, like you had yours. And see, they just pop right in. I'm going to line my cursor up on the edge here, and then over here. I'm going to leave all of the symmetry and the dimensions. By the way, I saw you use these temporary dimensions, and that's fine, but that's kind of a workaround from my point of view. It'd be a lot easier just to use dimensions. Let me get rid of that. Oh, I see. You've got that there for this 1 foot thing. I'll just drag that out there to 1 foot. There. And you're measuring, it looks like, from the roof baseline, which is fine. These dimensions here, 3 and 7, I'm going to delete them and show you Yeah, see these points, this, that's this dimension tool is this one you're using, where it creates its own dimension points. And it has its uses, but I don't think I would use it in this case. Let me show you how I dimension this. And it's kind of important. You just get better results. I'm going to use end to end. And we'll measure from the baseline as before to the edge of the dormer. Probably had a little trouble getting it to create a dimension. That's probably why you used the tool that you did. I'm having a little trouble. Well, I don't mind getting egg on my face. So see, this dimension from the corner is supposed to be 3 feet. That one went in there pretty easy. And you can see it's measuring from the framing, not from the siding, because the siding can be a variable thickness. But the dormer, being a solid object or a grouped object, it's measuring to the surface, and I don't think you can change that without exploding the dormer, which is beyond the scope of what we're talking about here. Okay, we want 3 feet. Okay, I was checking my data here. So I'm going to click on the dormer, click on the dimension, and select Move Entire Object, because the dormer is an entire object. We'll set that to 3 feet. Okay, and then I'm going to extend this dimension here to the far side. That's 5 feet, and then over to the next dormer. And let's see what the dimension is. I think you've got it 7 feet. I don't know what it is between them. Let me see what you've got over here. Well, I meant to get the other one and grabbed the wrong one. I think I got it that time. We'll snap it there. I just want to get the what you were trying to accomplish here and show you another way to dimension it, which is a little bit more reliable. What is that? About 30 inches. See, with these points, that they're not snapping to any architectural things, so they're just kind of estimations. This one's touching the dormer, so when I click on the dormer and then click on the dimension, there we go. Click on the dormer, click on the dimension, move the entire object to 30 inches. And we'll do the same thing over here and get rid of these dimensions. That one I think I'll leave there because I did have a little trouble getting the 1 foot. And we'll just set that to 12. See if I can select the dormer here. We'll just drag it out until, well, I missed it. I think that's pretty close. Then we'll use the other end-to-end dimension tool to set this side up. Let's see. Oh, there's an auto dimension there, look. Was that 1.5 foot? I'm going to hit the escape key, hit this one. Hit that one, there we go. And use this. Yeah, we'll set that to 12.5 inches. Okay, good, down there lined up. Yeah. They're supposed to be supposed to have a dimension there and then 30 inches between them. I'm going to show you a little trick. I'm going to select this dormer, press the shift key and select this dormer, and then click on that dimension, which is 3 feet. And we're done. See, I wanted 30 inches between the two. Now, what you do with the rest of the design, well, let me show you how this looks now. Okay. Just look down, and I think this is what you're looking for in terms of a finished. Well, let me turn rebuild wall floors and ceilings on now that we have it. The effect of my own cause here. We'll turn that back on. in 3D settings. My bad. Anyway, it should look, there we go. Now the windows are a little high, but you know, they're relative to the, if you pull them down, they're going to be below the roof level. Let's do a cross section through the end here. And you can see if you pull the windows any further down, they would, you know, you can't, because that's where the roof is. And they're just perfect for that height. They're a little high for the room, but that's what I was saying. It depends on how much headroom height, and I would lower the windows, lower the roof planes a little bit so I get the windows down. But if this doesn't bother you, it's a perfectly nice looking room. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Then it gets into just people's opinion, like I'm people and I have an opinion. That's a nice looking space, and I think that's what you're going for. And you saw I used the auto dormer tool, not the auto floating dormer tool, and I didn't do a very good job of pointing out that those walls that you had drawn in there, which made perfect sense. See, the software is going to automatically fill in these walls with these 3 check marks here indicate that this is an automatically generated attic wall. See, it's an attic wall, no locate, and it will not form a room. And by insisting that there's a room out here was just causing additional trouble. Now, in terms of the outside, I kind of understand where you're going, because right now the program's not smart enough to fill these areas in here. And it looks a little goofy. You know, you can just, well, not in a camera view, you can. You're just going to have to fill those in manually. I suppose this is a carport or something, or what do they call those? Oh, I've forgotten the word. It's kind of like a carport or a drive-up. I'm not quite sure what this is, this cantilevered area is. Nothing wrong with it. It's just kind of unfinished, and I go, huh? What's it for? The only other thing that bothers me is you pull this roof down here, and its native place to be is up here where this roof is, because they share the same baseline height, and that's what's causing this nakedness in here. You're gonna have to straighten this out some sort of way. I know it works on the rest of the house over in here, but maybe you might want to consider a shed roof over here, over this porch, or something like that, and put this back up where it was. That's just, again, that's your business. But there is some business left with this design here in terms of filling it in. And since I took the walls out, now the blank spots show. So what I would do, go in here a little bit closer, and this wall here is just automatically generated. The reason it's automatic, you can see that it's automatically generated because it has these 3 attributes in it. It's the wrong wall type. The software is smart, but it's smartly built, but it's not smart. It doesn't have any intelligence of any kind whatsoever. I'm going to change this to, I think you're using siding 6. And of course, it's facing the wrong way, so we need to flip the layers over. Okay, that's better. Now I'm going to copy that wall over here, make a copy of that one, and stick it over here in between these dormers manually. Where the software automatically fails, you just have to fit in, especially when you're doing something slightly unusual like this is. You may not like me saying that it's unusual, but it's unusual. It's not wrong. It's a little bit too unusual for the software to figure out on its own. I copied another attic wall over there and then bring that in. And these are all copies of the original wall, so you can see I'm still using those attributes. If there had been walls underneath here, the software would have automatically filled it in like it did over here. But like I say, software is not that bright when it comes to reading people's minds and knowing code, and that's the reason there's a disclaimer for this software saying that it's not a substitute for a structural engineer or architect and that sort of thing. You have to supply that sort of data. This is a little bit too wide for this one, I'm going to downsize it a little bit. And then I'm going to press the shift key and hit it again so I can just grab it like this and then line it up again on the baseline there. That's pretty close. Whoops, it snapped out of there. See if I can get it to stay. Well, all right, I'm going to hit the, it started messing up my dormer because I lost control of it. I'm going to hit Control Z. That's a standard Windows undo command. Oh, blah. I hit Control Z again. Stay straight this time, doofus wall. There you go. Get it in there with the edge of the framing right close to the roof base line, and then carefully just, oh crap. Sorry. Sometimes the software, I'm having a little trouble with my mouse, and it doesn't have anything to do with the software. It has to do with the age of my old trackball. I need to replace it, but they don't make it anymore, so it's kind of hard to replace. Damn. I'm hitting Control Z to undo whenever I'm, come on, stay straight. Boy, that was harder than it needed to be. So this is just one of these things that it's hard to explain with just text alone and language. I charge $75 an hour for my help, but I don't mind doing this because I can post this on my YouTube channel, and you can benefit from it, and others can benefit from it. And it's a great advertisement for my actual talents and skills. And I think that'll wrap that up. I'm going to send the file back to you like this. We'll take a look at it in an overview camera, but I think those should now be filled in. We'll go back to the, yeah, well, okay. Attic walls must be turned off. Unless they, let me check that. That'd be walls, attic. Yeah, they're turned on. What has happened? Well, they're there, but they're not there. Well, it's going to be a longer tutorial than I thought. Why don't I see them? They're there in plan view, but I can't see them. They underneath the roof there? I don't see them anywhere. This delete surface tool just temporarily deletes surfaces out of a camera view. It's not permanent. Well, that is passing strange. Let me check something here in another kind of camera. They ought to show up in a cross-section camera unless attic walls are turned off. Be walls, attic. I'm going to hit the W key to go to walls. It says they're turned on. Let me check to see what layer these darn things are on. Oh, Pro doesn't have a layer tab. Maybe it's attic walls. I thought I checked attic walls, and yeah. The red plus sign means that there's something on the layer, and the check mark says that it's on in this camera view set. So what am I missing here? Layers. No, that's all good. So where's my stinking walls? They don't show up here either. There's a different layer display options for each camera type, by the way. It's not the same dialog for plan, this camera, and this camera. They have three different, they look exactly the same. They don't say anything different, but they're different. They're not the same object. Well, where's my attic walls? I just hit the F12 key to rebuild walls, floors, and ceilings. Let me check it with this camera then. Dollhouse view camera. Well, they're just not, I drew them in plan view, but they're just not showing up. That's vexing. Okay, there's that one. Okay, there's that one. I can see that one there. Okay, there's that one. We're missing the corner walls, and apparently this one over here is missing. Wonder why. Oh, it's in the wrong place. Let me see. This one's in the wrong place. It's probably being destroyed by the wall, by the not the wall, the I want to get that close enough, and then we'll use this command here. That's probably brought that one back. I had it in the wrong place. That was my fault. Okay, now it's filled in. It's not filled in there, though. Maybe I got it in the wrong place. No, that's what you intended, for the dormers to stick out a little bit. Now, why is this wall not showing? Well, I guess we can just bring this one over, like you had it. Let's see if that's helped. See, that's okay. It's beginning. Well, okay. That doesn't look okay. There they are. Where'd that room go? Oh, there it is over there. Okay. Okay, that's filled in. Now I got to figure out why these side walls are not. I tell you what, I'm going to take this wall and this wall and change their programming. I'm going to make them not attic walls and not level okay, but I'm going to leave them no room defined. And just so that I did that so that they'll join up with these walls a little bit better, and maybe they'll become visible. I'm going to hit F12 to see if I can. Okay, there it is. All right. It's not perfect, but your design's a little unusual. Don't take that as it's wrong, but it's a little unusual, and it's a little hard for the software to wrap its limited widths around as well. Okay. I think that's as good as that's going to look until you figure out exactly what you're going to put underneath here. Close this camera. I don't need that one anymore. Just looking this over. But the dormers are no longer a problem because, like I was saying, they weren't being properly employed, and it's a little confusing. There's the auto floating dormer, there's a dormer tool, and there's in the help database on the Home Designer website, it's explained how to do this, and it's explained in the reference manual, but it is a little confusing. But these dormer tools work when things are properly set up for them, and they don't work otherwise. You can write that down in letters of fire, because I've demonstrated that under the right conditions that you get the effect you want. Now, how are you going to finish it up down here? That's your business. I'm going to leave that to you and send this file back to you as it is. And thank you for your patience, and I hope this does help you.